Hi friends, this Monday I'm going to be playing He Leadeth Me. Joseph Henry Gilmore was a seminary professor, Baptist minister, and author of several textbooks in Hebrew and English. However, he is best remembered today for his hymn, He Leadeth Me. The year was 1862 and the Civil War was raging all around. Gilmore later wondered if God was leading him to focus on his leadership. He was invited to preach for 2 weeks at the historic First Baptist Church of Philadelphia. He later recalled, "I set out to give the people an exposition of the 23rd Psalm. I had given this exposition on 3 or 4 other occasions, but this time I did not get beyond the words, 'He leadeth me.' So greatly impressed was I at the blessedness of the divine guidance that I made this theme." One Wednesday evening after the church service, he was visiting with friends. The conversation turned to his sermon that evening on the 23rd Psalm, and he began to scribble down the lines to this hymn. He later said, "At the close of the service, we adjourned to Deacon Watson's pleasant home, where we were being entertained. During our conversation, the blessedness of God's leading so grew upon me that I took out my pencil, wrote this text just as it stands today, handed it to my wife, and thought no more of it. Well, leave it to a woman to take things into her own hands." His wife, Mary Josephine Parkhurst, sent the verses of her husband that he wrote to the Watchman and Reflector magazine without telling her husband. The magazine printed the poem the following year. 3 years later, the Gilmores traveled to Rochester, New York, where the Second Baptist Church was considering calling him as their new pastor. Joseph Gilmore recalled, "Upon entering the chapel, I took up a hymnal, thinking, I wonder what they sing here. To my amazement, the book opened to He Leadeth Me, and that was the first time I knew that my hurriedly written lines had found a place among the songs of the church." Gilmore would go on to pastor that church for 2 years, before teaching at the University of Rochester in New York. He also served as secretary to his father while he was the governor of New Hampshire. Joseph Gilmore died on July 23, 1918 in Rochester, New York. William Bradbury, a well-known hymn composer, had provided the melody and 2 additional lines to the chorus. "His faithful follower I will be, for by his hand he leadeth me." He had found the poem and was struck by it and added the music to create the hymn we know today. Have a great week.